Hey, Modern Jeepers, Matson from MetalCloak here. Welcome to episode number 169 of the Modern Jeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers. You know, Corey and Jessy, they're on the road, but they managed to settle down for a couple of days to be able to do this episode. And I'm here at MetalCloak World Headquarters, as usual, itching to get out. We talk CTI Tour 2022, Jeep-O-Rama, Tillamook Adventures, All-4-Fun, and the MetalCloak Pink Run at the Palo Duro Challenge. Yeah, the Pink Run, girls only. And yes, no matter how hard we try, we still talk about a movie or two. Can't help it. By the way, if you like this episode, please share it with your friends and give us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you're watching this on video, hit that subscribe button, please. As always, we're extremely grateful to our supporters and friends, including Warn Winches, Raceline Wheels, Bestop, Milestar Tires, Rugged Radios, Adventure Rack Systems, and of course, MetalCloak. So sit back, relax the cold one, and enjoy episode number 169 of the Modern Jeeper Show.
The Modern Jeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Hey, Modern Jeepers, another episode of the Modern Jeeper Show with me, Matson from MetalCloak, and Mr. Modern Jeeper, Corey Osborne.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Rockstar Jeep Girl Jessy.
What's going on?
You're confusing me here because you guys are usually the opposite, like switched.
Yeah, we're
this is true.
we're really mixing it up this week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're both wearing black, and then Jesse's got her glasses on. It's like I feel like I should be on a talk show. Like, this is for a couple of professionals here. I'm not seeing any Jeep stuff, It's like, Jesse, can you tell us a little about how you've been experiencing the trails lately out on in your most recent trips to Oklahoma?
Well, it's because we're not in the truck and we're not in a hotel, so a little different. And we're not in our own house because that would be crazy.
Are you wearing your new glasses? The one you told me about? That
yeah, I am. Yeah. So they actually, for us people that are listening to this by a podcast, they're pretty interesting. They have a magnet nose piece, truly for the old guy in your life, and they're super.
They're durable too.
I'm still trying to figure them out. So they have a lasso that goes around my neck, and I can just put them on and click them together.
Wow, it's quite a click too. That's a good magnet. Have you pinched your beard in them yet?
Well. For $40, they better be.
Have you pinched them in your beard yet, or pinched?
That happens. I'm still trying to figure out: do you wear them unclasped around your neck, or do you click them back?
It's unclasped. The cool kids are unclasped.
Oh, really? Because there was a guy named Mott who always did he was always a rock roller on Jeepers Jamboree, and he has them all the time. He'd come in, but he's like a contractor or whatever before he retired. He always had him. He just pull them off, put them on, pull them off, put them on, pull them off, put them on.
Well, if I leave them around my neck, and then they just become food catchers. That's
really your beard. That's why you have a beard. It's supposed to filter it out.
It's a filtering system where the bigger particles end up on top of the glass.
Yeah, you can still eat the particles that land in your beard.
Yeah, nice.
So
what's
those make wearing those glasses make you a better Jeeper, don't they? Just trying to segue.
Better navigator.
Better navigator, yes.
Oh, see, there you go. But what's happening in the world of Jeeping? So you guys been kind of on a little bit of a foray doing stuff, Modern Jeeper stuff while you're waiting. And you just did something over the weekend. What was that?
So we did a CTI event out here in northern Oklahoma City, basically Edmond, at Off-Road Addiction. Great event. So before we get into even that, I just want to let our audience know that we've been home 4.5 days in 62 days, and we're not home yet. So
home is where the heart is.
Yeah. And I'd go 100% with that. I'm getting a little bit into that mode in my brain where I really just want to go home. So we still have a lot going on. We've had a couple of really good events, though. Off-Road Addiction, that was fabulous. We had 48 Jeeps out, and Mike and his lead mechanic Rob did a phenomenal job of being involved with the folks that we got on the CTI trailer. He had a food truck there. A couple of the local Jeep clubs, a lot of people from them turned out as well. They kept us busy.
Oh man.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, it's always good, especially when you do Jeep Beach and you do more in your little trip there to that event than to that dealer than out to Jeep Beach in a single
Very
day,
true.
right?
Very true. Of course, again, we talk about this a lot. We talk about the bigger shows and what kind of effect we have. And I think it's very frustrating for people, even that the attendees of these larger events, it's becoming a little overwhelming. So that's great. There's going to be 1,000 rigs at an event. But I don't know how much interaction there gets to be then with other vendors, and especially us when we're limited as to kind of how many folks we can get in on the trailer at a time. But with some of these smaller events, we get a lot more one-on-one attention. The issue becomes, so much times when we're traveling, making jobber stops, it's during the week and people are at work, and it turns out there's this whole thing about the sun being out, and after dark, it becomes kind of ineffective for us to have people on the trailer. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can't work on that, as we get through the summer months is always better because it doesn't get dark so early.
Sure.
But yeah, most of these large events, of course, they're on a weekend. So yeah, it's kind of a challenge, but what a great event. I mean, it seems like all the events we've been to in the last, I don't know, month, we have had some weather, like the crazy.
I told him, welcome to Oklahoma.
That's awesome.
But
that was small hail for Oklahoma. That was
it was very, that's why I told him.
It was like nickel sized, right? Like
yeah.
It wasn't golf balls yet.
They actually said quarter.
They had a few quarters in there. I have one little ding on Rockstar's hood. I noticed yesterday.
So I wonder if you have golf ball sized hail, do you ever have people like go outside with their clubs and just start hitting golf balls? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just why not?
You get knocked the hell out. I mean,
that's why they make MetalCloak hats.
There you go.
But then you have to worry about the lightning. So
lightning. Jeez. That's why I have
rubber
shoes,
Rob
right?
and Jason have a new pool they're trying to get constructed, and it keeps overflowing with dirty mud water, and they have to keep emptying it.
I heard that. Like, how is it mostly dug out? Like it's
it's I guess it's dug out, and then they have like a rough concrete interior, so it'll hold water. So it was empty, and then literally
this is like an 8-foot pool or what?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they don't even really do those out here anymore. Like when you pull out here now, you don't have to go 8 foot. You go like a 5 foot, like 3 foot to 5 foot to 3 foot or something.
No,
I think it's pretty, and it's pretty deep. I actually have, and I was gonna send this to you, but I don't know if maybe we can hold it up to the camera and you can kind of see here. Let's see if I can make this. This is it overflowing.
Oh my gosh. Is that during the rain?
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible.
It's nuts.
And it was empty. It was completely empty. In a matter of 3 hours, it was overflowing.
Wow.
And
so was it just so low that everything was feeding into it?
Yes.
Yeah. The runoff they're going to have to tackle that problem. I don't think the contractor is expecting it to be that bad. That's a mud pit.
If we can just take some of this water to the west.
Yeah.
Sure.
A funnel.
Yeah.
We need a big funnel that peers in the sky and just funnels it over to the
west. If we just have the clouds and we just rotate the earth under the clouds.
There you go.
Right?
How do we?
Yeah.
That might not be. Playing God, you mean? Oh, God.
Can't Superman fly backwards really fast and change that rotation?
Yeah. Then that's how he can make time travel happen, right?
Yeah.
I think that's in Einstein's theory of unrelative stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it is.
Speaking of unrelative stuff, how's those Jeeps?
So, really cool stuff coming out of Stellantis, our parent company to Jeep. They just have a new marketing campaign that they just started. And of course, they're teaming up with Universal Pictures on the upcoming new and final Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World Dominion. And there's actually 3 appearances in that movie, kind of going back to the original one when they were riding around, and I think that was like a '94 Wrangler.
YJ.
Yeah, I think it was a YJ, but they there's actually a 4xe in this one, a Gladiator in the new one, as well as a shot of a vintage Grand Wagoneer. So Jeep is kind of going all in. They again, it was labeled as a partnership, and there's going to be a lot of commercials coming out. I saw a brief clip of one where there's like a baby dinosaur in back of this 4xe. And of course, if you have a baby dinosaur and you're trying to take care of it, what do you want to do is you want to be really quiet. So
Sure.
the electric mode in the 4xe lets that happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm sure they aired down the tires so as to have a little more cushiony ride.
A little smoother ride, maybe.
Yeah, a little baby dinosaur going through. Yeah, that's good. So it's ARS had an opportunity to get a little screen time apparently. This got sent to me from a friend. I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah, it's hard to see it on the camera.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. So you see the rack there.
Yeah.
So this is, and I'll scroll it up there, Cobra Kai.
Oh, Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. So it's simply a little scene in there where the Jeep goes by, but it was like, oh, hey, that's an ARS rack system on that Jeep.
That's
nothing else on there that we know of, but it's definitely the ARS. I mean, it could be, who knows? It could be a full on like MetalCloak, game changer suspension, etc. All that, but it's
I'm sure it is. Why? I mean, if they were doing it right, it would have been.
I mean, if they're getting the rack, they're going to get everything else too, right?
Right. That's right.
That just means they're smart.
Yeah. So I guess we're not going to talk about movies like we did last week, but Jurassic Park does come out into theaters the 10th. So apparently they're competing with some of these other big name movies coming out and getting some. Everybody's getting driven back to the theaters. I think we're feeling a little bit of normalcy because it's too expensive to just go drive around.
So it's interesting you say that. We first off, to all of our listeners, like I got to chastise a little bit before we started a show about talking about movies last time, and it wasn't. We're not going to talk about this movie, and we're not going to talk about Top Gun, and they're going to see it tonight, so can't give any spoilers away. But and then the first thing you do is you come out and start talking about Jurassic Park.
I know, it was like the top of my list too. That's why it was on my mind.
It was on your mind. Because I will put a Jeep moment in there. There's an old CJ in Tom Cruise's hangar when he's working on the P-51.
Oh, cool.
Old CJ in the background. Totally
nice.
Like total stock. But I will say this, that it is amazing just from a lifestyle standpoint, the way theaters are today. So little history. My wife and I used to love going to movies. What I didn't like is Louisa always wanted to sit in the center row in the theaters that we used to go to, the Century Theaters, whatever. You'd have the row that's right in front of the handicap row.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the big poles where it's just sitting there and it's like it's a pole, it's on a wall, but it allows for the wheelchairs to go in the front there.
Yep.
And so she would always want to sit in that center row. So she put her feet up on the poles so she doesn't sit there with her feet. Right. So that means going to the theater sometimes an hour, 45 minutes to an hour early and just hanging out there. Right. Frustrating to me because I'm like, oh, I'm just go sit where I want to sit, get there 15, 20 minutes before we're good. Always an hour and a half out early. Fine. We go to get our tickets for Top Gun. You go these days, you go online, go to Fandango, you order your tickets, you choose your seats.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And the Palladio that we go to, which is over here in Folsom, every theater in the Palladio has the lounge seats where it goes back. So you go in there, you got the seats. There's nobody in front of you. The wall is perfect. You don't have any possibility of somebody's head being in front of you. You have no possibility of blocking the person behind you. It's a lot less seats overall, but I think they've kind of determined that nobody uses all those seats anyway. So you sit in there. It has a little button to kick back your legs, has a nice big tray for your food and stuff and your drinks. I mean, it's actually an incredible experience. You get there 10 minutes before, you don't have to worry about it. You just walk in, you get there, you sit in your seat and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm. That's what it should be.
It was a pretty incredible experience. What a great way to do it, to encourage people to go back to the theater because otherwise you might as well just have your 95-inch TV at home
Yeah, exactly.
with surround sound.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of which, theaters and movies and Jeeps. So, okay, so you did this event over the weekend, which sounded to be a blowout. We had an event at Thompson's Jeep up here. Same thing, little gathering. The first time these guys had done this that I know of in a while. And it was great. You know, I think we did like 39 CTIs over a 4-hour period. Guys are up there. John and Chris went and did it, and really cool. And here's a group that wants to really own the Rubicon. They're based in Placerville, Thompson's Jeep, and they really want to own the Rubicon. Like, they really want to take responsibility for that area and be the Jeep of record for the Rubicon, the dealership of record for it. So really was a great way. And they actually have they've done something that we've advocated other Jeep dealerships do. They have a little hill in the back, and they built a small little track. It's nothing crazy. It has a few little rocks in it, some wood. You go over some railroad ties, a little bit of bumping, a little bit of a hill climb, but it's just enough for people to get a sense of what their Jeep can do, their totally stock Jeep can do, and gain maybe a little bit of confidence, and show them what lockers are and show them what the sway bar is, so they get a little bit of education before they leave, which is huge. You know, it's the same
So
thing.
they're selling the crap out of Jeeps then, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're doing much better, but they are a small dealership compared to some others because they're located in Placerville, so their footprint's smaller. But for everybody that does buy one, they're getting a little bit of education. They're getting a chance to do it, and it's a great sales tool too. Like, hey, hop in there, let's show you what you can do. Just drive right up there, you know, and it's pretty cool.
I think there was and I think the name of it was Star Motors in Virginia.
Virginia? Yeah. Star Motors. Remember Star Motors? Yeah. Was it Joe?
They built like a whole little, they even had some kind of crazy stuff back there. You could cut the main loop in through the middle, and it had some rocks, and one of the Jeep clubs even kind of, I think, partnered with them, and they would take people in the back. And I think that's a great tool. And there has to be more of that kind of stuff, because got to tell you, we're seeing so many people and dealing with so many people out on the trails that they've just bought a Jeep, and it's more capable than any Jeep a lot of us own.
Sure.
And it's their first Jeep, and they have no idea what they're doing, and they're causing more damage to not only the trails but their own vehicles by not knowing.
Making great fodder for Matt's off-road recovery, though.
Yeah, and every other YouTuber, Instagram professional on the
Did you
planet.
see the one Toe Mater just went live with one? It was the Pritchett Canyon rollover.
Yeah.
Orange Gladiator rollover on Pritchett Canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
And then Rory hauled it off through the rocks.
Yeah. I mean, they got it. They went ahead and fixed, got the tire, got it straightened out, good old fashioned way of doing it. Hey, let's straighten out that back track bar. Let's use a little rope and a little winch to pull you. All right. Now it's straightened out, kind of, sort of. But.
Well, I spent probably an hour and a half this morning watching the weather this morning on the local news, because they had flooding again here last night. And
such exciting television.
What's that?
Just such exciting television, man.
Oh, it's just amazing to me, because you'll have an intersection that is completely stopped because the intersection in the middle is 1.5 feet and 2 feet of water. And what do they show? They show every, excuse me, but ass hat and guy with a bro truck blowing through the intersection, and everybody just thinks that's the funnest, neatest thing, and they're just submerging other cars. Mm-hmm. And the police are out there. They can't do anything. I think people have actually just lost their minds.
Are you saying that if I got a truck and you got a Pinto, like, I should be respectful of you?
Maybe you should help out the family in that Pinto instead of going ahead.
They bought a Pinto. They're long gone of any help. I'm sorry. Now, a little smart.
So it's you're the problem with America.
So yeah, I am. That's me. I have a problem with America. So now, if they see that, then you have the smart car, you have to worry about it because it just floats along, right? And then you have the, listen. I remember Becker actually rented a car when he went to Arizona for the year we did our FEMS.
The testing, yeah.
Test, right. And we did that testing, and it was big flash flood, because even some parts of Arizona, Phoenix, in that area have not yet fully gotten underground drain systems, underground sewer systems, right? When I lived there 30 years ago, they didn't have them at all. They were just finally in Phoenix putting underground drain systems in. So there's still areas that don't. So when it rains, it's just 1.5, 2 feet
It's
of
just a
water on the road.
flash flood.
Yeah,
Yep.
little flash flood on the roads. And he was going through with a little Jeep, whatever he had. I think it was a Jeep Cherokee or something like whatever the rental was. And he was doing this, the water was taking him in different directions. He kind of had to hope he had forward momentum enough to be able to get through it. But
yeah. I don't know. I maybe I'm just getting old. I'm like a little bit upset at these folks that aren't helping others out. And
the longer your beard gets, the more ornery you seem to be getting.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
It's time for a haircut.
Well, then it could be the 88 degrees and 80% humidity, and
It's hotter here than it was in Florida, I have to say.
Yeah. Great.
The humidity is real
nasty.
for sure.
Yes. But yeah, it is. I mean, you have to be respectful of other people. But it was fun when I first had my Blazer. Because I lived in Sacramento, and you had those times where there was floods going on. Because you're like, don't worry about me. I'm just going through it. Yeah. I'm sorry.
We're seeing on social media right now that it's starting all over again since the beginning of the real Jeeping season, especially in Colorado. Folks are already, the passes are starting to open, and it is. It's just going to be a mess this year. I can already tell, because people are already asking the most ridiculous questions about how can I do things that I know are not allowed, but is there a way I can get around it? Because I don't want to play by the rules. And it seems like that is more of a common thing that we're hearing is, you know what? I don't want to be slowed down. Mm-hmm. I can't wait in line because I am so important and in such a hurry. I have to get back to camp so I can, start drinking my
Bush Light
or whatever it is. And I'm just, that's what we saw in Moab with some side by sides tearing a lot of things up. And again, I don't want to harp on that, but I'm really hoping that our family of Jeepers is a lot more respectful than some of the things that we see that are taking place. Because if we continue this trend, it's not going to be very long before we don't get to have places to go. And I don't care if people say that, no, it's BLM land, they can't take it from us. Well, that's the land exactly they can take away from us. So
yeah,
I don't know. Watch your P's and Q's out there.
Yeah, be respectful of other people. But I think you're right. It is endemic of an overall, situation going on. I think it started with the idea of, well, hey, I'm creating disruptive technology that challenges the rules. Oh, that's cool. Hey, man, you're really cool. Like, you're really doing it. You're challenging the rules. But I think we're constantly seeing within education systems, and something I have to, as a parent, have to constantly fight, is this idea that rules don't matter, right? And it's
right.
Go your own path, dig your own. All these little phrases that say that you need to be an individual and go in your own path. Well, there is a path called society. There is a path called your community, and part of that path includes being a part of the community and a part of society and playing according to the rules that the society deems to be best for the society. I mean, and it sounds almost communistic, but it really is about the community that we as individuals, we're a nation of rugged individualists. Let's see. And then the Jeeping community is a community of rugged individualists. We love our vehicles. We want our vehicles to be different. But the cool thing about the Jeep is that we're still a community. And when we help the Jeep owners to learn what that community is, that means that we're taking care of each other in that community so the community can exist, grow, and expand. That's the truth of any community. You want your community to grow. You want your town to grow. You want your city to grow. You want your family to grow. And you have to embrace, to a certain extent, some standards and some rules and some guidance that allows that to happen. If your goal is just self-serving, no matter what you're going to do, and it's only being selfish, what you're going to do, and you don't care about anybody else, that's the decay of society, because suddenly,
and unfortunately, there's now people getting paid to do that because people want to see the craziness, they want to see carnage, drama, they want the rule breakers because that's entertainment, and apparently that's what people are paying for to watch. And maybe it's because we've been on the road now for so long, we've seen such a diverse cut of the entire Jeep industry, being on all the way to Florida, and then all the way back across, and then back here to Oklahoma. It's really amazing to me, and it's really unfortunate. And I know that the small group of folks that we see at events, um, they do the right thing more often than not. And what we see on social media, of course, is the actual opposite of that. So
Mm.
that's my hope. That's my hope is that we're seeing some of the extremeness. But I got to tell you guys, from for our followers and stuff, um, please don't play into it. I don't know how else to say it. We're going to start getting more and more rules put in front of us if we continue to allow it and we don't police each other. We've talked about that in prior shows. Nobody wants to be that guy on the trail because, and again, it's just going to get. It's not going to be productive by confronting somebody because these days it may get you shot. Which I don't know
Well,
how we deal with that, but at some level, we're going to need to have those conversations and figure that out.
yeah, and that is interesting because I was out in front of my house the other day, and it was yesterday, and one of the girls, one of the little girls in the neighborhood, she's like 10 years old. Her grandmother was out there, and one of the drivers, one of the Uber delivery drivers, is going through the neighborhood, and he didn't use his turn signal, and the girl's going, "Hey, yo, use your turn signal." And grandma's like, "Shh, you never know, because you could get shot." I'm like, where the hell are we in this society where that's the question? Like now you're talking about,
Mhm.
well, I gotta be nice to some fellow Jeeper because you could get shot. I'm like, why is it our answer these days? Like, yeah, yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm gonna pull out a gun and shoot you.
Right.
And then
Well,
unfortunately
because
plays the go ahead.
yeah, I mean consequences. I mean, it's how kids these days are being brought up. I think is there's really not a lot of consequences, and everything's been kind of more or less given to us at this point. We take so many things for granted that I just don't think that people have an understanding of. Well, it's my way or the highway, and I do what I want.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you're in my way, and therefore you are
Mhm.
violating my personal space, and therefore I
That's
have the
right.
right to beat the living daylights out of you. Because
Yeah.
come on, old man, get out of my way. Come on,
Right.
man.
And hopefully somebody has a phone and can share it on Instagram or YouTube.
Yes, because you at least if you're gonna do it, you might as well be famous about it. I mean,
Right.
literally, guys, if you're gonna do it, I mean, that's if you're gonna do something stupid, get yourself strapped with a camera. Like, get famous, right? If you're gonna go down in a blaze of glory, go down in a blaze of glory, right? Like
I need a little
if you're gonna
subtitle to come on right here and
if
say
you're
this
gonna
is not the
if you're gonna
actual.
roll your Jeep, make sure you have a camera set up first, right? Like, let's go
Right.
viral on it. I mean, just doesn't do you any good to try to do
Stop
something
messing
like
around.
it's not doing anything like doing a wash bowl or something, a hot tub or doing any doesn't do any good to try to do anything crazy like that if there ain't a camera following you. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for the day when we all have our personal drones anyway. They just all we're just
Well,
driving around like,
mhm.
hey, yeah, I got a Model 3000S. That's my personal drone. It'd be following me around. Battery lasts about 10 hours. It's pretty cool. It charges in there, and it just the only time it doesn't follow me is into the bathroom. That's just a geocaching that I've done to keep her or geo fencing to keep them out of the bathroom.
We have all that going on now. They just haven't talked about it. You know all
Uh,
those little indoor cameras and Alexis and all those little things we talk to that
yeah.
help us
Oh
and
yeah.
our little phone trackers and all that. Yeah, they know what's going on and where we're at and what we're doing. They
Oh
just
yeah.
haven't implemented the let's
Well,
tell them.
I'm glad you went down that path. I thought you were going to start talking about the flies and the little flies the CIA is using that's all the way around. And you've noticed that there's been an increase of flies now. And yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Right?
yeah. So be careful on those.
and they're annoying.
Yeah. The more you kill, the more money you take out of the CIA's pocket.
Well,
So,
we still have. I want to touch base here a little bit about some of our events that are coming up. Um, so we are this weekend. We're heading up into Kansas and attending an event called Jeep-O-Rama, and that's going to be kind of a different event for us. It's going to be fun. It's more or less a large show and shine, but 4x4 land and up in Topeka and some local guys put this thing on. It's at a drive-in theater, um,
wow.
which I think will be really cool. I don't right, so I'm not sure if
Yeah.
we
So
can
how's that going to be like a lot of up and down? Is this suspension testing? Just up
suspension testing
and
at the
down
drive-in,
and
right?
up
What a
and
perfect
down
place,
and up
right?
Right.
and down.
Do they
I'm gonna
have
dri-
poles anymore with the little speakers on them, or do you just turn on your
No, no,
radio?
you turn it to your radio. Yeah, I
Radio.
haven't been to drive-in forever. And the last time we did, like Luis and I were driving up in her little sports car, like, hey, let's go to a drive-in theater. That'd be a cool little date in her sports car. And then it's like, oh, it's radio, and her radio was broken or something. Like it didn't
Or you
like
can't get
it.
the AM, FM
It
to
just,
tune.
yeah, like
It's
her
great.
antenna was broken or something on it. So we said, oh,
Yeah.
we turned around and left because, like, well, that sucks. But
Right, can't
yeah,
hear
it
it.
just
I
goes
mean,
onto your radio.
so if there's no poles, is it just people parking everywhere? How
Well,
that sounds like chaos.
so it depends because I think there are the old poles are left, like in some of the older ones. The
Ah.
pole's still there, it just doesn't have a speaker on it.
Huh,
You
So
can't just
it's
willy-nilly show up and park wherever you want.
right.
yeah.
You gotta
right.
be, you
That'd
have
be
to
chaos.
Well, they'd be out there, doing their thing. They should be out there like white or painting lines, everybody, right? Sure,
Yeah.
little white powdered lines. What?
Yeah.
The thing that
Uh-huh.
it's the playground. Like, are the playgrounds any fun anymore? Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be little playgrounds up in front of the screens.
No. Miss
Yeah.
those.
Back by the our favorite Sacramento Inn, which has like 5 screens. We'd go there like on our way home, or we'd go there. My stepmom and my brother would always get McDonald's. My dad and I would always get Taco Bell. We were in the Suburban. It's a big Suburban, right? We'd pull in. He'd back into the spot. Get get the speaker up on there. The door comes down. The blankets come out. My brother and I would jump out and run over and play in the playground for an hour because you get there
Mhm.
early, hour and a half
Yep.
early. Play in the playground, and it had the big dome that you hang on to and spin around real fast, and you could
Yep.
fall off all the time and hurt yourself, but nobody cared, right?
Mhm.
And of course, then you want the candy and stuff. We'd always have things, so that was it. It was just a great experience. I don't know if
Well,
they even
now
really
it's
do that.
funny because, of course, all of those old big drive-in theaters are either subdivisions and developments, or they're a golf course. Nobody turned them into off-road parks.
Right? What it would have been
What
like
happened
to
there?
have one of those big theaters, and then just like the first thing you're doing is tearing down the mounds.
Yeah, how
Mounds.
sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Anyway,
So back to
we
but
digress.
were you trying?
So-
Was that a segue to the off-road parks thing?
Yeah, kind of, in a little bit of a real roundabout way. We still have, again, this is the beginning of June, so the season is in full force and effect. What's coming for summer months? The event that we will see next will be Tillamook Adventure, and that event starts July the 7th. We will be up in Tillamook, Oregon. We have a couple of places, a couple of spaces still available, but yeah, if you're not signing up here real soon, in fact, I don't know when we'll cut registration off for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, probably almost 1 month out, probably. So if you're just out there, unless you're really desperate, this will be your last call, I think.
Yeah, we should be getting pretty
Yeah.
close to
This is
being
my-
full. And then, after Tillamook, we have All-4-Fun, which is in Colorado, actually in Uray County in Ridgeway. So it's on the western slope this year, right near our house. That event starts July 23rd, and it's a week-long event. We've supported All-4-Fun for many, many years. Mile High Jeep Club guys come over all the way from Denver, run the trails in the San Juans and whatnot, and I'm sure that there'll be folks headed up to some of the Montrose trails and that kind of thing. But that gets us basically through July. And
Is All-4-Fun one of the ones where you ask for donations to do the CTI?
Yes, so All-4-Fun will probably do a donation to like Stay the Trail or something like that. Put a little donation box on top of the CTI trailer, and then all of those funds will either go to Tread Lightly or Stay the Trail or something like that. We usually try to give back some money to them and support All-4-Fun, of course. No new group putting that event on this year. I think they're doing a good job. I've had a couple of communication hiccups, let's just say, but they're all vested in making sure that event is successful. So we're just happy it's on the western slope, and
Mhm.
literally we can go home each night after the event.
We don't have to be in the
Nice.
rain.
Yeah.
Nice.
Last year that event was in Leadville, and it rained for a week while we
Wow.
were there.
It was awesome.
Wow. Well, cool. So, hey, that's it. CTI Tour 2022. You got to keep track of where these guys are going to be if you want to be out there too.
That's right, and we're getting ready to update all of our social media channels and pages with the events to make sure that they're all current. we'll still have, it looks like we may be able to head out to Topless for Tatas, which we've never made that event, Chris and Chantel Kern's event. It happens to be before Pigeon Forge. So before Jeep Invasion out there in Tennessee, we may have a week there where we can get out there and go to another event for a super good cause. And maybe do some more, some jobber stops or something like that. We'll see. But
That'd be
all
cool.
of our pages, ModernJeeper.com, MetalCloak.com, our personal pages will all have these events updated shortly.
It'd be cool if you did it out there. If you go out and since you're going to be in that region, stopped by OK 4-wheel drive
Oh yeah!
in Jersey, because we haven't done that since 2014. Be kind of fun
Wow,
to see.
yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, be fun to
And
see.
it was
Like
cool
kind
seeing
of,
those guys at the Overland Expo show.
yeah, exactly. Overland Expo West, which by the way, we have coming up there. If you're just coming to check us out while we are up at Tillamook, we're also going to be at Overland Expo Pacific Northwest, which is just outside of Bend, Oregon. And that's the full ARS setup's going to be there. So my Gladiator is going to be up there in full display. And so we have a full booth. So go out, check it out. And the interesting is it's going to be Mike from ARS and one of our engineers that happens to be living up in Bend. So if you had ever a chance to talk to a MetalCloak engineer and either bitch at him a little bit or bend his ear, this is the chance to do that. He's big though. Let me warn you, he's taller than all of us. He's tall, he wears overalls, and he knows how to swing an axe. So
nice.
Be nice. So that's it. In the Tillamook event, that's a 1-year anniversary. I'm looking forward to that 1-year anniversary from the injury.
That's right.
That caused me to take ibuprofen in front of Corey for the first time ever.
And yeah, the first time I'd ever seen our Mr. Matson actually was in a lot of pain and still walked on it, wanted to drive on it. Like he still,
I was dumb. I was dumb. So, but I don't actually know. I don't know if I'm either taking the JL out there, the red 4-door JL, and flat towing it out with the RV, or, and let's be honest, guys, I mean, it's diesel prices are freaking suck right now, and the RV burns a hell of a lot more than a truck. So, or if that's not the case, then I may either just take a truck out and then and tow it on a trailer, which would probably be cheaper than the RV with the kiddos, or we might just like not bring anything out. Like I might actually just come out with the family in the minivan and then come out to you guys and just tent it and hitch a ride with somebody. So I might do it that way. Don't know. We'll see how it goes, but got to be conscious of the fact that, and for all of you out there too, I mean, I feel for you because out here, I mean, diesel's like 7 something a gallon right now.
We are here in Oklahoma. It's been the cheapest we've seen. I actually saw $4.99 for diesel
when we first came into
when we first came into town.
But that's totally different now. It's like $1 more now.
In a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
We saw regular fuel. I saw $4.09 when we first came into town.
Now it's almost $5.
Yeah, it's gone up.
There's a few places that's still like $4.69, but it raised up pretty quick, pretty high.
They're saying, I heard this morning, the news reported that they're saying national average by Labor Day weekend will be $7 a gallon.
Wow. And it's interesting because it's incremental now. I mean, I'm surprised to hear you had this big jump because what I've noticed out here is that it had kind of settled down, and it felt like the settling down was allowing people to play catch up.
Right.
I mean, trying to get used to it. Get used to the sticker shock of putting $120 into your Toyota, and Prius. Yeah, it's just insane. But it sounds like it's variable. All of a sudden, you guys get $1 jump in your area. That's just insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's we're hearing folks that typically Bantam is coming up. We're not going to Bantam this year, but we're hearing some people go, we've had to make choices as to what events we attend and where we go, and we totally understand that. I mean, that's part of this game we're all playing right now. Is okay, bang for your buck all of a sudden is very important, and as Jeepers, we're not driving the most aerodynamic, fuel efficient vehicle on the market.
People are buying extra cars or motorcycles, I hear.
Right. Yeah, and it's crazy. Around here, we actually put some bike racks up because
Oh,
we did a couple things. One, we changed shifts so that we now have a couple of 410s, which gives them one less day they have to travel. So we split it up into two different. We have an A and a B that do 410s. The entire week's covered, but they now only have to travel 4 days a week. So those that have a little bit of a commute, 20-30 minute commute, it saves them some money. And number two, put some bike racks up. And I'm surprised how many guys have electric bikes around here, like,
Yep.
or
oh, interesting.
variations of it. Yeah,
I'm
and
kind of
just
wanting one.
yeah, because it gets them around, and we put a couple racks up, and they're already full. So now we're going to add more racks just to give people more opportunity to be able to bike in and save money.
Well, I think it's, I mean, everybody's gotten, it's so interesting. And I think I shared Matson with you and, uh, and a couple of others. I get a kind of a market snapshot from my
Yeah,
investment team guys back home. And it's very interesting. And I think the sentiment was spot on today. They had said that it's dyslexic. Like you hear the good things and the bad things, and even the Fed, our whole economic situation is kind of in limbo. It's, well, there's been some really good news and there's been some really bad news. So we don't know how to respond. And I think that's what the country's doing right now.
which is the news that we should be interested in, right?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's but it goes back to the whole thing, right? The government admitted that they're aliens and nobody cares because there's just so much else to keep our attention,
That's right.
right?
Yep. Yep.
So, what are you really going to do? So it's kind of interesting because we got a lot of stuff going on, and I want to take a moment because this is something that Jesse works on quite a bit, and is not only can you guys interact with MetalCloak when we're actually at these events and doing the CTI and stuff, but it's the sponsorship events across the country too. I mean, there's so many little different events that we sponsor and support and put on, and when you're out there and you guys are out there doing your stuff, we want to have relationships with clubs, right? And
Mhm.
we've never really put together a club program here at MetalCloak, but if you have a club, we want to hear from you because there's some concepts that we have that help give back to your club. And I'm still working on what those are, but give back to your club, but also help bring your club in to know more about MetalCloak. And I mean, that's what it's about
Mhm.
us learning and you learning, and also what we can do to help your educational programs. And I think that's what we're really interested in. So if your
Wait a
club
minute. Wait a minute. There's clubs that have educational programs. We definitely want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if your club has an educational program where you're either teaching not only your club members, but even if you do general public stuff to help people know more about Jeeping and about land use, reach out to us. Send me an email, mats@milcloak.com. We want to hear from you because we want to support those programs. And we'll find a way to make that happen to help support and sponsor your educational programs. It's huge for us to do that.
Mhm.
It's the reason why we started Modern Jeeper to help educate and learn. And so if you're doing that, if your club's out there, let us know because we
Yeah,
want.
definitely. I mean, and just so for our listeners that they know, I mean, and Matson and I go, and Jesse, we go kind of back and forth on this. Um, I have a very bad taste in my mouth from a lot of Jeep organizations that I've run across the United States for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And what I'm looking for is for you all to prove me wrong.
Yep.
I want you guys to show us that you're worthy. And you know what? And Matson does a really good job of fighting for all of you guys. And it's probably me that drags my feet the most because I remember back in the day when we used to do a lot of promotion for trail rides back when I was with JJ USA. And we literally would go to Warren and say, we need 100 winches because all of these coordinators all across the country, all these events, we'd send them a winch to give away. Well, guess what? A lot of those winches never made it anywhere. They ended up in somebody's garage on somebody's Jeep that was part of the club.
Right.
So from those days till we
It
fast
still
forward now,
happens.
I know it still happens, and I know that a lot of stuff gets done not on the level. We get a lot of requests for us to support your events, and we've been pretty diligent in checking them out. But I guess what my for this episode, what I would love for this episode to be an interactive episode, we want to hear from you all. Um, and I'm going to
Absolutely.
actually throw out even another side of this that I didn't even mention to Matson, but you guys are all sitting at home and you're not, if you can't travel because things are expensive or whatever the case may be, your Jeep club, isn't doing an educational event this weekend or whatever, I have a great place for you guys to get some education.
Ooh,
But I want to hear back from you. Did you? I don't think our listeners know how much information is on the website at metalcloak.com. There is, it's just funny to me, and I kind of refresh my mind every once in a while, and I have to go back to the website and kind of see what's changed and what's new. Um, People typically would go to the website, they'd click on whatever type of Jeep they have, and they would look at those parts, and they never leave that particular section. Did you know that there's a whole bunch of information there, like an explanation for pretty much everything that MetalCloak builds? I think some folks are clicking on it, and they're browsing, and they're out. What I want to hear from is I want to hear from our listeners, our followers. Go to metalcloak.com. There's actually a section in there. There's even a section on tools and accessories. Did you know that MetalCloak sold tools and accessories? Like that's not my point. But what I want to hear from everybody is I want to know one thing that you don't like about the website, and I want to hear one thing that you do like about the website. You can email me directly, Corey at metalcloak.com, and I'll send out a pretty significant swag bag for you. But I want to know, I'll pick it randomly. Let's give it, I don't know, we'll give it a couple of weeks. We'll see what kind of turnout we have, because we'll probably have to talk about it again next week. But I want to hear what people are finding. Find something that you didn't know about. You didn't even, there's so many, there's installation diagrams, there's instructions. It doesn't matter if you don't even have the part, but you know how much it'll help you understand how things work, how things are to work on your Jeep. So yeah, I'm putting this together on the fly, and I'm making it up as I go, pretty much. So
I think it's a great idea. That's absolutely a great idea. Like, yeah, just check out the website. There's a lot of stuff there, and
there's a lot of stuff there.
And see if you can find our blog, because it's something that we used to do, and I'm actually revamping it. But there is a blog out there. There is a MetalCloak blog that has lots, and I mean, it was several years of articles and stuff and tips and other things that were put into that blog as well. And that exists. And we're trying to all integrate that in. But yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, send email Corey at metalcloak.com and let them know one thing you love about the website and one thing you didn't know about the website, or one thing you hate about the website, right? So
yeah, either way, something you learned today, I guarantee you're going to go on there and you're going to find something that you didn't know about. Whether you just click on a part that it may not even be for your Jeep, but if you click on that part and just kind of read about it, and it was not something you understood before, or even why we make it, that's huge. I think that's so helpful for the entire Jeep community. There used to be a website out there, and I'm sure, what's it called? Extreme Terrain, that got sold. They had a lot of great content, and they did a really good job with their search engine stuff. And there's a lot of videos, installation videos. There's a lot of installation instructions on MetalCloak site, and the information is out there. So shoot me an email, Corey with an EY at metalcloak.com. Let me know.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Corey. It's interesting because we just launched, we're trying to continuously launch new products, and we have a whole big project line that just keeps putting things through the pipeline. And this morning it was a fun one because it was our sector shaft brace for the JL and the JT, right. Which is, sometimes you launch little products like this. Like we launched a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, was the reinforcement bracket for the JT rear sway bar, right?
Sway bar.
That went out silently. Like we just kind of put it out there, and it just like has caught on by wildfire. And then this one was
brace.
This one we go out and put this one out and put a few different spots, and oh my God, the conversations have been just like craziness, right?
Yep.
And it's a different kind of bracket. We are drilling into the frame to put it in there into one of the cross members. You're using a couple of rib nuts, which is fine because it's a side load situation. It's not a pull down situation. If you're going for pulling it off, you don't want to do the rib nuts. But for the side load, you have 5,000 pounds of stress on those that'll handle fine. So, but we think it's an overall great product. It's a great the great brass bearing there, bronze bearing, but it's just fascinating when you put something like that out, and just the amount of feedback. And I'm learning things from the community, right? The community is asking questions that I didn't even think about answering.
So many questions about it.
Yeah.
We were watching it this morning on social media, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." And I kind of told Jesse, I'm like, "This is exactly what this sparks that whole." People are like, "Hey, wait a minute, what if I have a PSC box?" And hey, wait a minute, where can I use it
Sure.
here? And what about this? And that interaction is fabulous because it's healthy interaction. People aren't out doing something stupid. They're asking questions about the Jeep.
Mhm.
They are. They're asking questions about Steve. Now, speaking about doing something stupid, in all my world of marketing, right? I just have to have fun with some things. And I have a huge long list that we've been kind of going through and revamping all of our marketing programs and what we're doing and testing new things. And marketing is all about experimentation. So I want to know, just like Corey wants to know about the website, I want to know from our community if there's anybody in our community out there, any of our listeners who are into NFTs, who are into that world of crypto and NFTs. And if you are, email me, mats@MetalCloak.com, because I've been working on one. And I have right now, it is 171 variations. I think it's kind of cool. And it's just a simple thing. 171 variations. When it's all said and done, there's going to be 500 NFTs, only 500. But I'm going to give them all away for free. So, but we got a little buildup happening here, right? So I want the community, if you're into it and you're listening to this podcast and you're into NFTs, send me an email, mats@metalcloak.com. I want to touch base with you because we're gonna have a little buildup to this. We're gonna make a game out of it, right? But it's gonna be 500 NFTs. There's 171 variations, so it's just gonna be, some will be multiples, some will be singles, exclusives, that sort of thing. And we'll just see how it goes. But it's just gonna be a fun thing. We're gonna give them all away. It's all going to be free. Probably do it on OpenSea or FTX. I'm working on which one will let us do it with the least amount of gas fees. But reach out to me, mats@metalcloak.com. If you're into it, let me know. If you have any ideas, let me know. If you have questions about it, let me know. Just want to learn to see
Cool.
what sort of thing. But it's just a fun thing to do and throw something out there and say, hey, let's see how this looks.
Right on. I like it.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. So for you guys, Tillamook's next. And we get to do the forest this year, right?
Yes, yeah.
So
we
far.
we're planning on 2 day or 1 day, 2 trails up in the forest. So
Badge trails.
yep.
Wow, badge trails. Maybe I should
yeah.
remember to do that. Yeah, but
Mhm.
how many badges do you have that you actually like registered for?
Almost. Well,
there's
20?
only a handful I think that I've not been on.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are back east. We haven't spent a lot of time out there.
Right.
Arizona. We have not done Arizona or Texas.
Yeah, there's a few little random dots, out there. For
Well,
sure.
the fun thing is actually getting out there and trying to remember to do it. Like even Will, he went and did. He wanted to do it. He's on Moab Rim. It's a badge trail, and he forgot to,
Check
press
in.
the button, check in. Yeah, doesn't do any good.
Wah, wah.
Well, in the Jeep Wave program, and I guess that's separate from the badge thing. That's something you
Yes.
have to sign up for when you buy your Jeep, or you can, I
Mhm.
guess you can do it on the fly through Jeep. But they're doing something with that Jurassic Park movie as well. And I don't know about the Jeep Wave program, but apparently you can get free tickets to the movie or something as part of the Jeep Wave program. So maybe folks want to look into that.
Ooh.
What if you have a Jurassic Park edition rig, like one with beige with a
should
big
get
logo
some
on the side? Do you
swag
get
or
anything special?
something. Yeah.
A YJ?
I've seen lots of those.
I think it's so funny, like you said. I told you no movies, and I'm sitting here thinking to
Still movies.
myself, this next Jurassic Park movie, they said is the first movie that they've had a baby dinosaur. So from a marketing standpoint, can you imagine what this is gonna be? Baby dinosaurs.
Oh, this would be
things.
like, this is gonna be Grogu,
Yeah, right.
Baby Yoda.
Yes.
Oh, he's got a baby. What do you mean the first one they had a baby dinosaur? I guess it's the main character because they had them popping out of eggs in the very first movie.
Right. But we
Yeah.
didn't really know them. So
Yeah, well, they weren't their friends. Now, so are they protecting the baby dinosaur, or is it more like Chicken Little, where they're just trying to get the damn thing back in the spaceship?
Well, I
Right.
think he's the little clip is about this guy transporting it and trying to take care of it. So I'm sure that there's some kind of play in there where we're gonna love it.
Oh, great. So us as a humans, like, we're taking care of this dinosaur, thinking we can do it,
Yes.
while the others are just coming after and chasing after and get my kid back.
Right.
Without understanding, because we think we're all seeing, all knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. But are they? But they're in a Jeep,
But they're in a Jeep in a 4xe.
in a 4xe.
Yes.
Why not a Gladiator?
Well,
Oh, that's right. You said
there's
the
a
4x8 has to be
Gladiator
quiet.
there's a Gladiator in it, but I don't know what for yet.
Gladiator in it. Yeah, well, it probably wasn't like carrying any cargo or anything.
Probably not.
I just
And we will have the Gladiator out to Tillamook for folks that are interested in seeing more about the ARS rack and whatnot, and as we make our way across country. So,
yeah, that's right. That's right. Your Gladiator will be out in Tillamook, so I don't get to have my Gladiator and show off going around the sand. But that's
I don't
okay.
get
It's
to
a
have my new Jeep.
sacrifice. Do you have your new Jeep?
it's
Did it
in
get
So
delivered?
the day after we talked to you, they called me on the way here, and it is sitting in Montrose. So when I get home, it is all mine.
Oh God, you have got to be dying right now. Like,
Oh yeah, that's all I can
Corey,
talk about.
it's all I
It's
hear
like,
about.
Corey, you can handle the rest of the trip by yourself. I'm going to go.
I gotta go.
You're fine. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So, what's
they
your first
sent me
thing?
pictures of it, and so yeah,
What?
I'm
Well, now you got to do the whole light bright thing. Like, you just basically got to take your brand new Jeep out and go up to one of the trails back behind the house on Montrose and just go as far as you can go.
I could probably do it.
Yeah, just have fun with it. Get some
Yeah.
video.
This is true. No breaking though.
Yeah. You
Oh yeah, we're gonna get home and I won't see her for like a week, and I've got stuff to get done before Tillamook.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, yeah. Anything else you want to share with the group before we head out?
I don't think so, buddy.
Fine day.
It's
Palo
your.
Duro, yes.
Oh yeah, let's talk about.
Oh yeah,
Palo.
Palo. Yeah, our buddy Brad over at Palo.
As of an hour ago, there were only 2 spots left in the MetalCloak pink women's only trail ride. So if some of you women are scared, your husband or your spotter or whoever you want to bring can be your passenger. So don't think that you can't have a guy passenger to help you along the way. So don't let that prohibit you from signing up. But there's only 2 spots left. 2.
And those will be filled by day.
Yeah.
Registration just opened this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Jeez.
Yeah.
What's the total number in that group?
15.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to do a woman's run again this year?
Yes.
The one you did out
I
by...
will be setting dates in this next coming week. Yes.
Okay, cool. I know there's been some discussion for our Modern Jeeper Adventures about the Rubicon Trail, and we're thinking about trying and experimenting like we like to do a little bit differently this year. And just because of the variability and stuff and logistics, but we'll talk about that and figure out what we're going to be doing. But there has been some discussion moving forward on what it's going to be this year.
Cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people are paying attention and whatnot, and we still have some openings for San Juan, Colorado, September 8th. But that's beyond my scope of how far forward I can see. So yeah.
A lot further than me. What do you mean? 3 months away? Yeah, that's like a lifetime.
Nah.
A lot can happen between now and then. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yes.
Yes, I'm just going to go in and just do things right here, right now.
That's right.
So to reiterate some of the important points of today's wonderful podcast. 1, if you are an event or your club out there and you do some educational stuff, please reach out to us. 2, if you are a listener, you have been tasked with an assignment, and that assignment is to go to MetalCloak.com. Find things you like about the website, discover something new, also discover something you don't like about the website, and send an email to Corey at MetalCloak.com, and he will possibly choose you for a nice swag package from a number of our different sponsors and friends.
We'll make it beneficial.
And number 3, if you happen to play in the NFT space or in the crypto space at all and have some curiosity about that, email me, Matson@MetalCloak.com, and I will want to touch base with you and have a little bit of a conversation. And number 3, ladies, a couple of spots out there. Jesse's got you covered, so pay attention. Email Jesse@MetalCloak.com. So now you know how to get a hold of us and what we like and how you can treat us nicely and give us good things and make us feel like special, like you really are our fans. And other than that, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up today?
No,
I think we're good, buddy.
Cool. I got to put your glasses on because I just feel like I'm talking to a couple. This is like more like I just interviewed a couple of outstanding citizens about their role within the future of America.
Yeah, these are, I don't know, they're too dark or something. I don't know. I feel like
I have my bifocals on. You just can't see it.
Yeah.
So I have the old lady glasses. So
yeah, mine are, and then I can put mine on and we can all have our.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
To our this is the Photoshop
You need to have a bolt or a lightning bolt on your forehead too.
Great. You can do that.
Oh God.
Yeah. How's that?
And then you put a lightning bolt right there in the square.
Great. Yeah, there you go. All right. So for all of us here at Modern Jeepers, to all of our friends out there, Modern Jeepers, we're here at Modern Jeepers. Gonna check things out right here in the videos. Gonna do some of this because I know I think it was mine shooting. All right. A lot of us here at Modern Jeeper, to all of you out there, we love you all. Thank you all being part of the show, and we will see you on the rocks.
Cheers.
See ya.